And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. This Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner host John Costa, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. We host a bunch of stuff. Make sure you like and follow, because here it comes. Ready? Here it comes. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Chris Sardieri wants to do it tomorrow night, 8:30 on Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, and wherever you get your podcasts as well. Joe Soro may or may not join us then, so join us. Inside Sports, not tonight. He's too good for us tonight. Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Also as well, of course, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Not only the social media, but join John Costa as he covers the NBA and the Lakers on his Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner on YouTube. So make sure you like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when John gets on the air with his latest Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Also as well, the Lakerholics crew. Laker Tom is probably happy because his Yankees won and probably sad because his Lakers lost. So go ahead and find out what he, Jamie Sweet, and Michael have to say right there at Lakerholics.com. Also as well, of course, Empire Jeff TV. He's coming up on his own channel, Empire Jeff TV, for a Dodgers show coming up right now. Also as well, of course, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, Lakers in 5. John McCalian channel. All these great channels. Don't forget the Legend 350 as well. The Legends channel. He's got a great YouTube channel. Go ahead and check out all these great channels. Make sure you like and subscribe. And speaking of liking and subscribing, we have more new subscribers. Truly appreciate it as we get closer and closer to 1,850 subscribers. It is sincerely appreciated. Truly appreciated. But we need your help. We need to get up to the big guys. I need to go ahead, as I was saying on the show earlier today, to get access to all this stuff, to be there at the T-Mobile instead of right outside the T-Mobile. I need to be inside the T-Mobile, and I need your help to do so. I need the thousands and thousands of subscribers that we can get, but it starts with you by subscribing today and hitting that bell so you get the latest notifications of when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. And also, last but certainly not least, the memberships program that I have at $2.99 a month. You get inside scoops, emojis, badges, ahead of time when we go on the air. Plus, you get inside stuff like when John Costa finally gives me his season predictions. Guess who sees it first? See how I did that? See how I did that?
I got you, Gerald.
Members will get to see it first and foremost before it ever goes live in public on our future Lakers Fast Break website. But you guys will see it first and foremost. You get access first. You're a member today. Just $2.99 a month. And it all comes to you right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers are in my town. I am so happy I got to see Aussie today. I was calling John to see if he was going to join me tonight. I was huffing and puffing because I'm doing a walking, trying to meet up with Aussie, going behind the MGM, walking through, cutting places where I know still we can get access to. I'm still kind of pissed at the Oyo Hotel because they're now charged for parking. That was a sucky move. They were free parking up until about a month or two ago, which really pissed me off. But anyways, walking, going across, going over the bridge, going over Las Vegas Boulevard, meeting Aussie and his terrific family at Whataburger right there. The only Whataburger on the West Coast right there on the Strip. It was truly great to see him. Thanks so much again, Aussie, for you and your family, for meeting you and getting time to spend with you. Aussie went to the game. He at least got something he wanted to see, John, because he did want to see Bronny in action. And Bronny actually scored 2 points and got a block shot late in the game. But there wasn't much better or much good I could say about the Lakers and what they did tonight, because the Lakers, because of some really bad communications as far as the defense is concerned, transition D was absolutely abysmal. Let's call it like it is. It just wasn't good. And plus, John, when you're shooting 35% overall from the field and 27.5 from three, you're not going to get it done. And the Lakers didn't get it done tonight. As the Lakers won, Lakers lost. I'm sorry, the Lakers lost 111-97 in Vegas. They did not look good tonight. They looked like they were going through the motions. And here today to discuss the game with me is a good man indeed. He is the man behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. It is, of course, John Costa. And John, great to have you here. A disappointing loss. It is preseason. So I guess, you could say they were just going through the motions. What I'm concerned with is the bad habits I saw tonight, both in the fact that in their defensive sets, lack of communications. The offense was moving, was getting the ball in good places. They just weren't hitting the shots. You'll have days when you just make shots and have days when you don't. But the defense is really concerned for me right now when it comes to the Lakers, John.
First of all, Gerald, it is great to be here. Absolutely love Lakers Fast Break family. Love everybody here in the chat. So everybody that's here showing love, appreciate every single one of you guys. Gerald, earlier you were talking about the whole subscriber things, and I just every time we talk about this, I always got to say, you guys, please, that is the one thing you could do for Gerald because Gerald, he works so hard for you guys, this community, and we all appreciate him very much. He is the pod father, but
Thank
let's
you,
talk about
John.
the game though. Let's talk about the game though, Gerald.
Do
Let's
we
talk
really have to
about
talk about the game?
the game. We could just keep giving Gerald compliments. That
Yeah,
that works,
exactly,
right?
exactly. But no, yes, of course, about the game, my friend. Go ahead.
So look, it's preseason, right? We took an L. I'm not really worried about W's and L's in the preseason. I'm going to be honest with you because it doesn't really matter, right? But what I am worried about, what I do watch these preseason games, is our players, is how we play in body language, coaching, um, the way we played. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I was a little bit disappointed. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little bit disappointed. First quarter, one of the first things I noticed is that like when LeBron James and Anthony Davis were going to work, and credit to Anthony Davis, who was aggressive tonight. I'll talk about him in a little bit, and LeBron as well. But well, actually, I wouldn't say LeBron. I wouldn't say LeBron was aggressive, but looking, I would say putting the pressure on the defense every time he had the mismatch, trying to take it to the post. And the one thing I noticed, like I was gonna say, is that if it wasn't LeBron and Anthony Davis, trying to attack that mismatch in the post because of their height, because of the mismatch, which I totally feel, we had a whole bunch of players standing and watching, which
Yeah.
is very scary. It's very scary because last year that's exactly what we had too. We had a lot of players standing and watching. We had no fluidity in the offense, no movement in the offense, and if it wasn't the guy on ball making something happen, then it was just everybody else just standing and watching, doing this, no cutting off the ball. So that's one thing. That's the first thing I noticed in the first half, and that's one of the something that I definitely hope JJ addresses as the season moves on. I did love our energy on the glass, though. We had a lot of second chance points. Um, I need to pull that up to have the exact number how many second chance points we had, but we were just I know we were very aggressive on the glass.
15
But
offensive rebounds, just to let you know.
okay, 15. Okay, all right, that's solid. I mean, kind of peeled off there towards the end, but first half, that definitely that first quarter we were aggressive
Golden
on it.
State did eventually out rebound us 55-50, but yes, we did out rebound on the offensive end 15-13.
Hmm.
But again, a lot of that is due to the fact that they had a lot of opportunities because the Lakers were shooting terribly. The only good shooter tonight was Anthony Davis, 10 of 14 when he was in range, when it was close. He's not extending, only took one three pointer, which was good, which was smart. The less three pointers he takes, the better the team will be. Off 10 of 14, 24 points, 12 rebounds. AD looked like he was already in midseason form. Rui Hashimura, I want to talk to you about right now. 15 and 9. On the surface, you think that was really good, but there were some things I saw. First off, he's shooting 5 of 14. Okay. 1 of 5 from 3. Not great. But his transition defense, several times I saw him caught, as far as flat footed and just not hustling back. Part of it's because they want him to crash the boards. I get it. I understand it. But part of the time, there were sometimes he was arguing calls, and just other times he was not just giving the kind of effort I think he needed to in order to get back on defense. And it did cost them several times on the transition end. Your thoughts, the transition, it's not just Rui, but the transition defense was abysmal. And this is something JJ wanted to address. LeBron talked about it on Media Day, was something that they were going to address. Right now, John, it doesn't look like they addressed it very well.
Yeah, no, honestly, Gerald, I feel like
What's
you
up,
might.
Bossy? He is in. Oh, he's on Facebook. Yeah, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Ozzy, what's going on?
He was at the game, so yes.
Ozzy, would love to hear what you got to say or your thoughts here.
Yeah.
But look, it's funny because that's actually what I was gonna get to next. And you bring up a great point, Gerald. Like our transition, honestly, defense and offense this game was terrible, you guys. Like the defense, like how you talked about Rui just looked out of place, but even the offense, like I noticed two different times, and this is just what I noticed. I'm sure if I go back and really look for it, I'll probably find a couple more. But two different times that the Lakers we we blew transition opportunities because spacing was incorrect because D'Lo and Rui were too close or D'Lo and AR were too close or we just weren't running the court correctly. Just simple spacing. We didn't have that down. So I agree with you, Gerald. Both defensively and offensively, we were terrible in transition. Um, but let me I feel like a lot of times on this show I try to be the silver
The
lining in
voice
this.
of reason. The voice of
Yes,
reason.
right there you go. And Anthony Davis, I'm not gonna lie, I liked what I saw. I like what I saw. He was very aggressive when he had some mismatches, which is
Well,
my
as long as he
biggest.
was not shooting in three, this is something before you came on. I was addressing with the crowd. Was like I've had this fight with Zangerstein last year. I had it with Laker Tom here this weekend because he is fully in buying into JJ's scheme of having everyone and their grandmother shoot threes. And I'm saying he's 29% career 3-point shooter guys out there. Just I mean, over 11 years, he has shot less than 30% from the field. It does not make statistical sense to have him shooting any more threes than he absolutely has to. Get him more touches down low where he's more efficient, and you see that 10 of 14 being more efficient than taking. Okay, let me ask you this, John. If he takes five threes, you take away five looks at the basket like he did tonight, and let's say those five looks at the basket are from three instead of a close two, you're not even going to get the same kind of output that you would with AD on that. I just don't think it's a smart move. The more looks you give from AD at behind the arc is less chances and less touches he gets inside where he's more efficient.
So I'll give you that. I'll give you that. One thing that I know that if this is a point, if this is I guess not an issue, or I guess something that we're bringing up as a sign of concern so early in the season, we're going to be talking about it a lot in the regular season because JJ is I'm not going to say purely, but he's a big numbers guy. He's a big numbers guy, and like he always talks about like teams that just shoot more threes end up winning more games and being and he's a shooter himself, so he's buying into that philosophy himself and deeply. So I'm gonna be honest. I agree with you. I think that it's situational. Like I'm a big believer that like basketball is very very tough to be like, all right, like here's what we're doing. Like here's the player running because basketball is just so reactionary. It's like, all right, well, like if he does this, that blows up the entire play, but I could do this and just react to that, and now we got a whole another situation going on. So it's like if Anthony Davis has got the mismatch, which you mean 99, 90, not going to say 99, but 98, 97% of the time players in the league cannot guard him. So he has that mismatch, and I believe he should go inside. But I definitely do want to see Anthony Davis just confident and the ability to shoot because just stretching the floor and what that does to a defense is it speaks volumes and it creates opportunities in the offensive end. Just having a player even the defense, even if the defense isn't like, all right, well, we can't give him no space out of the 3-point line. Like they may not even say that, but they have to at least respect it enough to where they'll have to switch or they have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more than enough. And real quick, want to say what's up to Adam. Want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Um, but I think it was my boy Adam. Adam said he doesn't like JJ already or something like that. He said I
Uh,
think JJ is a bad coach. Oh,
well, as
buddy,
long as it isn't Doobie. Doobie is giving him a chance so far. So yeah,
dude,
there
hey,
you
I'm
go.
giving him a chance too. I'm giving JJ a chance too. We got to give him a chance. But look, I want to know why. And if Gerald, if you agree with this take, please tell me why. Because I'm gonna be honest. Like, besides some simple errors, that's preseason. I'm not gonna make my take on JJ on the preseason. But my boy Adam, Gerald, you guys, how do you guys feel about that? You guys agree with that?
Now let us know in the chat. Truly appreciate it. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. The Lakers do lose 111 to 97. I just think again, you have to go ahead and give AD touches inside. He's so much more efficient around the rim. You saw the turnaround was working tonight, so fluid. When it's working right, John, it is really something pretty to watch. That turnaround from 8 to 10 feet, it really looks good. But yeah, having him shoot the 3 pointer, like the one 3 pointer he attempted, just it just seems like a wasted opportunity for him where you could get him inside. You saw a couple times where LeBron and AD ran the pick and roll, and it worked. Got AD to the free throw line. Uh, Darren, you're saying AD can average 28 to 30 this year. Yeah, if he's playing inside, he will. But if he's chucking up threes, that's not very efficient for him to do so. And I'm hoping that you know cooler heads and smarter heads will prevail, and he'll be getting a lot of inside touches. And the three attempts we want to go up, they'll be taken by a lot of other players that are more efficient, like of course LeBron, D'Lo, Rui, and then hopefully Austin, who's got to get out of this slump he's been in. That's got to be a key for the Lakers, like we talked about last night. And Max Christie and Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect, um, two worlds tonight for Dalton Connect. As was mentioned in the chat, but he could become the best garbage time Lakers player ever because of how well he played in that fourth quarter. 19 points for him, but yeah, it was really a rough start for him initially because he was 1 of 5 in the first half. Um, when you watch Connect, what do you see? Do you think that again? Do you see what I see? And if you don't, I understand. But I think he could be a good rotation player sooner rather than later. Obviously, he's not afraid to shoot. He's got the green light from JJ, taking 13 threes. That's what you want from him because, again, when he gets on a heater, he can really help this team, John.
Absolutely. Gerald, I'm 13 threes is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. 13 threes is like that's a lot. That's like Steph Curry numbers. But I understand. I understand. It's not only is it preseason, but I understand like as a shooter, there is nothing better than seeing that ball go through the hoop. And when you see that ball go through the hoop, and if you get the perfect just release and it just feels good, you find out your your shot. You find your shot for that day. Whew, there's nothing better. And he's a great shooter. So hey, I'm all with it. I'm gonna be honest with you, Gerald. I'm big on Dawson Connect. I think he just has like the prototypical body for an NBA. Well, I wouldn't say prototypical because average height's around like 6'6" and he's like 6'4". But he's 6'4". He's lengthy. He can shoot the ball. Not the greatest defender, but these are the type of things and type of attributes you can work on over time or whatnot. So I personally like Dalton Connect. I've said this a lot of times on my Lakers corner page, which is like I think he came to the best team, like the best team for him. He's getting coached by JJ Redick, who was a 6'4" shooter who made his career running off screens, catch and shoot, and being a knockdown shooter. Sounds just like Dalton Connect. But one thing, real quick, before we do get off of
Of
that,
course.
Adam, he said, because John JJ's telling him to shoot more threes than anyone in the league. That's not how he works. Okay, I agree with you to a certain extent, my brother. So I agree with you to the extent of like that's not how it works. You can't just tell everyone to shoot threes and you'll win more games.
They do in Boston. Boston taking more threes than anybody, and
Sorry,
they
but
have
hold
like
on.
the green light all over the place on that
But
one.
hold on though. See, this is what I was gonna say. It's all about personnel. It's all about personnel.
Yes.
Tough Sue, right under it. He right under Adam's comment. I shout out Tough Sue. He said Lakers need to pound the ball inside. That's why we needed Valanciunas. They can't shoot. I absolutely would have loved Valanciunas. Would have been just another good backup big. Our that was our blueprint to win when we won was with that. So I don't know why we got away with that. But that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother topic. I think our personnel definitely is more a bruising team, going inside. But I don't want to every game just say, you know what, like let's let's not even try from his 3 point line because again, I'm not saying let's shoot as many threes as the Warriors, and I'm not saying let's let Dalton Connect get 13 threes a game or whatnot. But what I am saying is let's see if it's there. Let's see if it's there early in the game because if it's there, if you got it going, we know why get away from it. And if it's not there, we know what works. We know what our bread and butter is, and go to that and go inside. So, um, I mean, I think it's all about personnel, right? I think it's all about personnel. It's all about the matchup. All about the matchup, and it's like I said, man. I really am okay with Anthony Davis shooting threes because let's be honest here, y'all. Let's be honest. Anthony Davis was a mother frigging beast in 2020, and he was shooting threes, right? He had the ability to shoot, and that's what made that pick and roll with him and LeBron so unstoppable. It's like, oh man, I mean, either Anthony Davis rolling to the hoop for a lob, or he picking and popping for a three or a midi, or Bron getting to the hoop. It's just unlimited options out of it. So again, not saying Anthony Davis shoots a three when he has freaking Keldon Johnson on him. But if Anthony Davis has got to, you know, bring the big out and shoot a three, hey, I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with that. You only got to get better by getting them up.
Once again, it is the Lakers, unfortunately, losing on the strip in my town, Las Vegas, Nevada. Aussie was there to see the game. I was right there catching him and his family right there at Whataburger. We were enjoying a time together before he had to go watch the game. But the Lakers, I wanted to go ahead and make sure I got the playback for you guys. So 111 to 97, the Lakers lose. Actually, I'm glad I didn't spend money on the game. So not exactly brokenhearted about that. Let's go and talk about Max Christie. Today, 0-3 in 16 minutes, 0 points. Gave you some effort on the defensive end in the first half. Then they put him on Steph Curry. Note to self, if you're JJ Redick, don't put Max Christie on Steph Curry
Yeah.
because that was the bad part. Max Christie looked good against other players. Again, Max Christie is a situational defender. If you put him on the right defense player, like around his size, his body type, his height, uh, can play very good defense and stick with those guys. If you got a quicker, smaller, faster guard or a smart guard like Curry that runs around screens and just absolutely can and so slick and so smart, he'll roast like he gets roasted like he did the other night against Dillingham. Dillingham was just too quick for him, and today, just could not work well guarding Curry. But he did look good at points of time on his defense in the first half. But again, giving you 0 points. This is our sixth man off the bench, like John. This is our sixth man off the bench. The guy we
Hey,
just spent money on for a $32 million contract. That's not what you need. You need more from your sixth man off the bench.
Gerald, if people would have been listening to us, they would have been gave up on this guy a long time ago. And when they would have gave up on this guy a long time ago, they would have stopped losing sleep over this guy. I don't know why in the fudge this guy's on our team. I already said it 100 times. This guy's not an NBA player. You want to talk about Bronny's not an NBA player? Max Christie is not an NBA player. He should not be there. Shouldn't have been there since his freaking rookie year. Um, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even like it's like when you're expecting bad, you're not even let down. You know, when you're expecting bad, you're not even let down. Like Max Christie, he's got some figuring it out to do, and it's frustrating because it's like, damn, I've been saying this for hell long. We've been saying this for hell long, but there's still people out there like I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure Rodell loves Max Christie, right? Or one of my friends, one of our friends Noah, he loves Max Christie, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what the infatuation is from.
Call for
Uh,
president. That's funny. He said, "Did Doug Christie use nepotism too?" I don't think they're related to Doug Christie. I think now he is related to Cam Christie on the Clippers. Max Christie is, but yeah, I don't think either of the Christies are related to Doug Christie, the famous Doug Christie of the Lakers now in Sacramento. So I don't think they're related, or at least it hasn't been reported as such. But be that as it may, again, Christie, you're seeing mixed results for today. Again, 0 points is not going to get it done in 16 minutes. So he's got to give you more during the regular season, especially if you're six man off the bench. But we will get to Bronny here in a little bit. But first, since you are the president of the D'Angelo Russell fan club, kind of a typical D'Angelo game where in
typical.
spots he picks his spots on where he wants to be included in the game. I mean, there was a point in time, I think it was like third quarter, got on a little bit of a heater, hit a couple threes right in back to back, looked like he was going to get involved in the game, and it just kind of disappeared. Today, he didn't really look involved. LeBron, too. LeBron didn't really look involved today. 6 points for him. D'Angelo Russell, 2 of 10, 2 of 6 from behind the arc, 6 points, 7 rebounds. LeBron James, again, he was probably just here for the gambling. 6 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Yeah, it wasn't much for LeBron today. But D'Angelo Russell, again, I'm not too worried because it's preseason. Most of these guys are going through the motions. Austin Reeves, I'm hoping he just takes a chance. See, he's the one that needs 13 attempts a game in the preseason to work on his touch because he's the one I'm concerned about the most as far as on that starting lineup. But when it comes to D'Angelo, yeah, again, I just seem that he and Rui at times just seemed disinterested. LeBron looked disinterested out on there on the floor. The lack of attention to detail on the defense, lack of communication, the transition defense is just not there. I'm not. I am concerned, John, but not panicking yet because we haven't yet to see that in the regular season so far.
You're what? Concerned and panicking on D'Lo or what?
On the defense as a whole, not just D'Lo. Just I mean, the starting five should know. So they've been playing with each other for a while now. We're talking way back now, more than a season now that they have worked with each other as a group. They should be right there with each other. The synergy on defense should be there, but we saw several times tonight where D'Lo was not communicating. Same thing with Austin Reeves, even AD to an extent, not communicating, getting beat on back cuts. These are things I'm concerned with because we talk about JJ's schemes and how the ball's moving on the offense, at least giving us opportunities, but on the defense, I'm concerned that there's not been enough addressed there on that side of the ball.
Absolutely, it has not been addressed at all. Like literally at all. I think one of our biggest weaknesses last year was our backcourt defense.
And
Our
great
back,
point, Lightning Blitz. Yes, rebounding is still an issue because they were one of the poorest rebounding teams last year in the league. I know JJ has talked about an emphasis on it, and they did get 15 offensive rebounds, John, but they did get out rebounded tonight, 55 to 50 as well.
absolutely did. As far as as far as okay, let me get to a couple things. First, D'Angelo Russell. Typical D'Angelo Russell game. Typical D'Angelo Russell game. It's unfortunate, but hey guys, like let's just understand. Like I'm gonna do this early. I'm gonna do this early with you guys early in the season. This is D'Angelo Russell. This is who he is. He's not gonna be consistent. He's not gonna be solid every single night. He's got his ups, he's got his downs. He's a streaky player. Every game he might go on a little streak and hit two really fun threes and start dancing and doing, what I'm saying, doing his thing and having fun, having swagger with it. And no matter how you feel about D'Angelo Russell, and I will back this, and I say it all the time, we need D'Angelo Russell. Until we get a true point guard on this team besides LeBron James, we need a D'Angelo Russell. So let's get the D'Angelo Russell trade discussions out of here. Unless we're bringing DeJounte Murray, unless we're bringing a two-point guard who can preferably play some defense, which is why DeJounte Murray would have been so great. But we need a two-point guard because we cannot rely on LeBron James to initiate the offense and be our 2 point guard. Because besides D'Lo, it is literally the only other player on our team that's a 2 point guard is LeBron. We cannot rely on LeBron to do this for 82 games in the regular season and then another, whatever in the playoffs. That's just not realistic at LeBron's age. So we need D'Lo on this team. So let's just come to terms. That's what he is. Made some great passes, made some terrible passes. That's that's just D'Lo. The situation. What was that thing you had mentioned, Gerald?
Well, just the
Um,
defense, just the
the
defense,
defense. There we
transition
go. Thank you.
defense.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you. Transition defense was horrific. We allowed.
communication was just not
Yes,
there. They
yes,
didn't
yes.
talk to each other. Got when you get beat on a back cut, that's a lack of communication. Because let's say you and I are, I'm playing the center, you're at the wing, and we're going back for it. There's a back cut, and there's a guy cutting to the basket. One of us has to communicate to each other to pick up that player going to the basket. And there was a few times tonight where we saw that the communication was just not there. It ends up whether there's a wide open 3-pointer like tonight. I think it was Moody that had just like a all day to shoot one because the Lakers just stood there looking at each other. I think it was Connect and Austin Reeves just basically missing it and blowing it because they didn't talk to each other. And then there was a layup that Austin Reeves and AD missed as well because they just end up looking at each other and there was a guy scoring a layup. So these are things that you okay preseason you can work on, but these are things, John, that you need to work on in order to go ahead and get this hashed out for the season. I understand that there's a lot of teams we've seen in the past that look absolutely terrible in preseason, but once the season starts, boom shakalaka, they light it up and they're good to go. So we can't always see 100% for the preseason that it's going to translate to the regular season. But again, I still have my concerns based a lot on what we saw, especially the depth of this team, because you saw it was a close game with the starting five in there. But once we started matriculating in the Max Christie's, yes, the Dalton Connects, the Jackson Hayes, the Cam Reddishes of the world, the Vincents, JHS especially, who looked absolutely abysmal tonight. And
He
then we won't
sucks
even,
too.
we'll talk about Bronny here in a second. Uh, Once those guys came in, the lead just started to go. It just started to go a little bit farther, farther, and the distance and how it worked out. Yeah, it. I have my concerns that I'm seeing that might reflect on the regular season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to get back to that original point of like the defensive end, I'm extremely concerned. I mean, like I said, it was one of our biggest concerns last quarter. I mean, last season, and we did absolutely nothing to address it. Back to backcourt defense is ridiculous. Laker, Gerald, you talked about backdoor cuts. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to be getting backdoor cut in, I think, in the NBA unless it's just you're playing Jokic or something like that. Because your communication has got to be there. It's got to be on 10. We're talking about the NBA here, yeah. Um, but yeah, don't get me started on Jalen Huscafino. You know what's crazy, Gerald? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna be honest. I don't mean to sound like a pessimist or glasses half empty guy, but I knew THT was going to suck. I knew Max Christie was going to suck. I knew Jalen Huscafino was going to suck. And I literally told everybody, I was like, dude, these guys suck. These guys are not going to pan out. THT doesn't even have a team right now in the league, I'm pretty sure. Or yeah, I think he's actually on the Bulls. And Jalen Huscafino is ridiculous. And Max Christie is ridiculous too. So, I mean, yeah, we're they're not very good at drafting. Uh, And Brian Greeny, I think that was his name. Oh, Brian
Brian
Greeny,
Green, yes, he's been here
Brian
quite
Green.
a bit. Always great to have Brian here.
Brian, appreciate you, brother. He said, sorry, we're analyzing a trash roster. Like there's something there. Like, look, I agree. Like the roster, like isn't necessarily like, built perfectly and not great. But one thing I will say, and I'm gonna keep saying this a lot throughout the season. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. If we have a healthy LeBron and we have a healthy Anthony Davis, don't 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 quit us. Like I'm not saying we're gonna win a championship. I'm not saying this, but if you give me a healthy LeBron and you give me a healthy Anthony Davis, I like our chances just about against anybody. Against anybody. If you give me those two healthy guys, I'm not saying we're gonna win. We might get smoked at 5, but there's a chance when you got those 2 generational talent players. So you're right, there's some trash roster, but let us F around and get the right matchup in the playoffs.
Well, we'll
Hmm.
have to see those season predictions from you when you get to them, and I'd
I'm
love
gonna
to
get to them
see. I'd
right
love to
now.
see how far up you have the Lakers. So far, it's been very interesting as I've been showcasing it to our members. The season predictions so far from our esteemed panelists, pretty much one a day. So it's truly appreciated. I've got one coming up for you guys here as members later this week. So you will actually, or shall I show that this weekend? We'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna keep. I've got more to go. I think I put L Rob's on there. I put Stone Hansen's. I've got members have already seen several of our season predictions. Alfred Esmond, Legends. Yeah, we've already gotten to quite a few. Henry from Courtside Lakers, who was on earlier tonight on playback. Laker Nick, who was on playback. Big shout out to Laker Nick as well. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just been great the season predictions so far. Cannot wait for yours, John. Looking forward to having that on there. So to get that your thoughts on the NBA season so far. But once again, the Lakers do lose 111-97. All right. I don't think we can avoid it much longer, my friend. Let's get it over with. He who should not be named, the number 9, Bronny James, did come into the game. I think people were worried. Aussie, who was in the building, was said, you know what? When he realized the Lakers were losing, I just want to see Bronny James. And I think that's what his family was. Whether so they came all the way over from Australia to go see Bronny James tonight, and they got their wish. Uh, and Alan says, "I don't want to see Bronny. I don't want to see." And there's a reason why. I mean, the 3-point shot, miss again. He actually tied his preseason high with 2 points tonight, a whopping 2 points in 9 minutes. 1 of 5 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. He did get a block shot from behind, which I think everybody will just replay to death at nauseum on Twitter and say that's his highlight for his entire career. But be that as it may, another subpar performance. He just looks really like he's not in this class. He just really looks outclassed. There was a play right after I think he took a 3, he missed a 3. It was on the defensive end, John. This is supposed to be his specialty, the defensive end already. That's what they drafted. That's what they're trying to sell you on. That, okay, maybe the shot isn't good yet, John, but the defense, he is going to make it league because of his defense. Well, it was a defensive set, and he's on the wing guarding a player. I think it was Moody, if I'm not mistaken. Moody just pops up, just makes one little shift, and heads to the wing for the 3. Bronny, he's just standing there for a second, mesmerized. I don't know, maybe because he was thinking about what he's going to do at the Bellagio later tonight, and then finally realized his man, without even a screen, without even a hard screen, Bronny late to rotate, and guess what happens? It's an easy look and a 3 for Michael Moody. So it is what it is. If you're going to be in this league and you can't shoot, you got to be able to do something to help team win games. And if he's supposed to be that awesome defender that he says he is, he's got to be aware. He's got to be bright. Yes, block shot, great, by all means. Woo! All right, good for you. But there's also 8 minutes 55 seconds of the rest of the game that he played and didn't show up for, John.
Sky, at this point, we're just watching the son and the father play together. That's it.
Well,
There's literally nothing more to it.
and Edgar, great to having you here. Got almost 50 people in the show. Truly appreciate you joining us. Once again, the Lakers lose 111-97. It's like this, what I told you during playback. Take a look at what Indiana did to former second round pick Kendall Brown. They gave him a 4-year contract, but the last 3 years were not guaranteed. So what happened is they didn't like what they saw in their first year, took him to training camp, didn't like what they saw in preseason. They said they want to keep an open roster spot. So what do, John? They just paid like $250,000. They waive him before the season starts, but before he even gets into his second year of his 4-year contract. These are the type of contracts Rob Pelinka needs to sign so you free yourself from players not getting it done. Right now, you have Maxwell Lewis on the team. He is so low on the depth chart, John, that he's below Bronny on the depth chart. Who came in first the last 2 games? Was it Bronny or was it Maxwell Lewis? Guess what? It was Bronny coming in earlier than Maxwell Lewis. That's where we stand now with Maxwell Lewis's career. So obviously, he is one step out the door. I mean, you guys, in fact, JJ, I have an issue with because Quincy Olivari, the hero of the Milwaukee game, the kid really gave you effort. He tried hard on both the defensive and offensive ends, John. How did you reward him? How did JJ reward him tonight, Quincy Olivari? Take a look at the box score. How did JJ Redick reward Quincy Olivari tonight? Take a look. You take a look at the box score.
A D and an N and a P.
That's right. Didn't play him. I mean, that the kid's confidence must be all over the place right now. If I'm sitting on that bench and I did so well and tried so hard and I'm fighting for a battle just to even get a two-way contract, much less a spot on the team, that is such a disappointment for the kid. And I wish him all the best. I'm hoping he'll still get a chance to play with the team. But you had people in our chat throughout the game on playback and people, and also here in the chat here tonight asking for Olivari, and they didn't get it. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame because on a day where the Lakers needed some kind of lift, Olivari could have been just that, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be 100 with you, Gerald. That was a great point. I didn't even really think about that, and that does absolutely just knock his confidence. I'm gonna be honest.
And he's not even a veteran; he's a kid.
It's a
and that's he's a kid.
Preseason. It's preseason too. Like we would have lost nothing, going him out there and letting him rock. Because bro, like basketball, I say this all the time. Basketball is all about like confidence and rhythm, and like if you feeling it, you feeling it. Like if he could have got on fire, man, maybe he would have had like a little like a Lynn Sanity moment or something like that. I don't know, but all I know is yeah, Tough said front office told JJ not to play him. They're like,
that might have been the case.
That really might have been the case. It might have been like, yo, not trying to do that. Go ahead and shut that down.
Yeah, JJ, don't play Olivari. Yeah, we got to put Bronny in there. We got to put Maxwell Lewis in there. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just disappointing because you want. Okay, even if you don't have plans for the kid, at least give him a look. He deserves it. He deserves at least 5 minutes in this type of game, and he didn't get it. It was disappointing. Just some of the things I think that JJ has to learn as a coach. But again, that's just small things comparatively. It is the preseason, so we'll just have to let that fly. But the bigger picture is for the Lakers, again, defensively, they need to talk. They need to communicate. They need to focus in on defensive rebounding. And this is disappointing because, again, you guys in the chat, the best Lakers chat room that's out there is the Lakers Fast Break. You guys have been hitting home runs tonight because you got to use the Major League Baseball puns there because you guys have been talking really good last night. Got some great points tonight. In fact, this one right here, this is the reason why I do not care about the Lakers keeping picks because other teams are light years ahead in terms of rebuilding. The Lakers can become a contender if they trade for actual talent. And of course, you guys have been all over it as far as the talent. Ron's, I think you've been saying a lot about it. Ron said Quincy is even better than JHS, Bronny, and Maxwell Lewis. Yeah, but he didn't get a chance to show it off tonight. It was kind of disappointing. Just for the kids' confidence, John. Just for the kids. I mean, these are little things, mind you, but just for the kids' confidence, you should have just given him any kind of run just to show that, you know what, the organization appreciated what you did for us in Milwaukee.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, just simply for the confidence and just simply for the aspect of like seeing what he's going to bring to the table. So it's preseason. There's no reason not to play him. Great point. Honestly, I didn't think of that till now, to be honest.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 111-97. I did want to mention after the game some stuff that was posted that JJ Redick was talking about after the game. He said he puts the loss on the Lakers' third quarter offense. That's not how we want to play, but it happens. Again, that's not how we want to play, but it happens. That's out of the Darvin Ham school of press quotes there.
Don't let
So,
Joe hear that.
yeah.
Don't let Joe
So,
hear that.
but it happens. Okay. All right. But also, as well, he pointed to the Lakers' off ball coverage as one of the primary struggles tonight. He said when the team followed its pregame instructions, they were successful. When they didn't, the Warriors made them pay. When we made stuff up, they hurt us, Reddick said. End quote. So, again, defense was an issue tonight, John. Yeah, it's only 111 on the scoreboard, and the Lakers struggled shooting, but you saw communications breakdown, transition defense issues. Again, these are habits you hope they don't retain once the regular season starts. And again, I said it earlier. There's teams out there that go through the motions of preseason and then light it up once the regular season starts. And I'm hoping that's going to be the same for the Lakers, my friend.
I'm not too I'm not too optimistic on that, Gerald. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I think teams that do that, you can kind of tell, you can kind of see it. I can't tell and see that with the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie at all, at
Well, what do
all.
you tell your audience though after a performance like this? I mean, you are on Lakers Corner right now. What do you tell your audience when you see them play at this level tonight?
We talk, we would talk about where we went wrong, and I mean, where we went wrong is in a lot of ways. I think, as far as coaching, I think as far as the transition defense and offense, I think that's one of the first things that has to be addressed, in my opinion. Like, if you ask me, what's the first thing we need to address is transition defense and offense, because it's like these need to be easy buckets. Like, transition buckets in the NBA need to be damn near as easy as a free throw. But if you are messing it up because of simple spacing, you just don't know where to be on the court, that's a sign of concern. It's a very sign of concern. The first thing they need to do is get rid of those. Yeah, I agree. Bronny, Max Christie, Maxwell Lewis, Jalen Scafino. That's four right there. We could open up that roster spot for some guys. For some guys, not those guys. Yeah, I agree, Ron.
Exactly. It's
I agree with you.
disappointing because we're 1 week away from the start of the season, John. Okay, get that. Everybody get out there. Newsflash, we are 1 week away from the opening game of the season. The Lakers have to make sure that they get their act together and get rid of some of these bad habits. Are they going to be hopefully not just as bad of a rebounding team as they were last year? Hopefully they'll get some of that together. I'm not expecting to be a top 10 rebounding team, but if you could at least get to somewhere as far as in the teens, in the 15th, instead of the one of the worst rebounding teams in the league with the same personnel, I would think it's at least something that we can just put our hat on that JJ is doing right. But again, we'll see. Transition defense is still an issue. But let's get back to some of the things that went on in today's game as regards to some of the looks. I want to ask your thoughts on this. And once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. On the starters, Austin Reeves, 2 of 6 from 3, and that's probably one of the better shooting performances he has had so far in the preseason. It's not looked good. What do you think is going on with Austin Reeves not shooting well in the preseason so far?
I think, I mean, as far as, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really worried about that. I'm gonna be honest, just because I think basketball is just such a up and down game, peaks and valleys, especially for shooters. You just got to keep getting them up. So as far as me, I'm not hitting that panic button yet. I'm not saying we need to do anything about that. I think we continue to tell them to get them up. They're gonna start falling. Like, funny that we're on a Lakers spot, the Lakers show, but you miss every shot you don't take, man. We know we know what Goat said, that you miss every shot you don't take. So, and exactly what Gerald said. You guys, please like and subscribe. Also, become Lakers Fast Break member for $2.99 a month, and support us. Support Gerald, the man who works so hard. Max Christie is the second coming of THT. I hope not, man. Man, oh
Well, I can't
man,
wait to
Ron.
see the Lakers. I can't wait to see the Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk memberships. There you go. I think you're at the level where you can start doing them yourself, my friend. So go
Okay.
ahead and make sure. Yeah, there you go. Looking for that. Looking for that indeed. But I want to go ahead and mention again, it is truly great to have everyone. Big crowd tonight. Once again, the Lakers do lose 111-97. It is John Costa, Clutch Talk, and Lakers Corner. Ron says Max Christie is the second coming of THT. I hope not. Well, as you've seen, THT, but he's still like 24, I think.
Yeah.
THT is still very young because remember, he got drafted in the league young. He is still very young and he's already been bouncing around. But he's now in Chicago, I think is his latest tour duty where he'll be bouncing around from place to place because he just could never find a consistent jump shot from the outside. And as long as he doesn't, oh, but he has those long arms, Gerald. He has those long arms. Yeah, that's worked out. Max Christie again. You got to find consistency. He has to find consistency. Was our sixth man. He's the first man off the bench, Max Christie. And Rodell, again, you and I have had our differences. He'll tell me on the email we've had our differences, but you cannot give us 16 minutes and 0 points. Yes, he had some moment on D guarding similar players. He is a situational defender. If you have him guard a player similar in size to him, he can play very good D. If you have him guard a smaller guard, he gets destroyed. Absolutely, utterly destroyed. Whether it's a speedy, fast, quick guard like Rob Dillingham or a smart, intelligent, cut through the screens guard like Steph Curry, we see he just does not have the capability to play those type of guards. But if it's a small forward or a wing, he matches up very well. But the problem is, John, 16 minutes, zero, a donut. That has not that can't work for the first guy off your bench.
Jared, you know how I feel about Max.
I understand, but you can say he's not a player. Stone can say he's not a player. Joe can say he's not an NBA player. I don't think Bronny is an NBA player. I think he can be an NBA player. I mean, he's going to be an NBA player for 4 years because the Lakers signed him to such. So he's got a 4-year contract. So he'll be somewhere in the league for the next 4 years. So he's got to start playing. But the thing is, this season, because of the lack of depth on this team, guess what, John? He is our sixth man off the bench. He is the guy that they are first going to lean on coming into the game. That's a problem. I think you need to move him because he has had moments. The moments that he's had well in the preseason have been with playing with the starting five or as a member of the starting five, whether it's coming off the second half or starting the game. He has played well playing in the starting lineup. He's had moments where he's actually looked like an NBA player. It may have to come to the point if Austin continues to struggle shooting on the outside, you may have to consider putting Max in the spot just to get both better as far as more productivity with each, as far as maybe their confidence even more. So,
Man, I'm gonna be
he
honest,
may
Gerald.
be he may be no
Gerald,
sixth player, but he
Gerald,
is. Yeah.
Gerald, Gerald. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I just thought about right now? We should stop all this. We should stop every single effort we're putting towards this Lakers stuff because you know what, Gerald? We we we're not gonna go anywhere. This Lakers team is going nowhere. I'm so sorry to say it. I'm so sorry to say it. But Gerald, this Lakers team is going nowhere if that's what we're what we're relying on. If that's what we're and we are. And we are relying on that. We're going nowhere. We have 4 players on roster getting paid, taking up money that are not NBA level players. And we have one of those guys that we're leaning on to be a key piece off the bench for a team supposedly trying to contend. That doesn't even sound real. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to
I
think
agree
about.
with you, Dan. Inspiration. He said the Lakers need to get rid of cover your ears. D'Lo, Cam Reddish, JHS, Castleton, and Bronny are all dead weight. With D'Lo, it's not necessarily dead weight, but the fact is, remember, the Lakers can't resign him. He becomes it. Well, they can resign him, but he is a free agent. this upcoming season. He is one of the few players who cannot get an extension, John. He has to become a free agent. So the Lakers can obviously sign him as a free agent again, but I don't think he's coming back. He should be playing for a contract. D'Angelo, come the regular season, I expect a good season from him because it's a money season. It's that time for him to cash in. This is his last. He's 30 years old now, or close to it. This is his last time to get a decent contract, in my opinion, with D'Angelo Russell. So we should see a good season from him. Not we should see less nights like tonight. Now, maybe whether he gets a little selfish, maybe he should because he's playing for a new contract. We may see that. I'm going to be honest with you, John. If I was in his shoes, I would be taking a lot of shots. I would be feeling a little selfish if that's the case because I knew what my career would be looking like down the road. That's a big thing for D'Angelo again because we have to remember this is a critical year for him if he wants to stay at a starting guard level, which some people think he is. Some people think he's not, like some of our chat. He is a free agent. He's going to be out there looking for cash, and he's not going to be able to get paid unless he starts to produce this season, John.
Yeah. D'Lo, yeah, if he wants to worry about his bag, he needs to definitely have a big year this year. Not gonna lie. But as far as I can explain it if you guys want me to. I've explained it before, but as far as just
maybe they had a tough night in Vegas. Maybe they were partying all night. I know you guys that were on the last night's show talking, asking me about all the strip clubs in Vegas, which I'm not an expert on, thank goodness. But yes, maybe they had fun at the strip clubs last night, or maybe gambling too late at the Bellagio or something last night. Maybe that's why they look so sluggish today, John.
yeah. Hope not.
Rolling some craps.
I hope not. I hope D'Lo didn't have this stinker because he was up shooting craps. But look, as far as D'Lo, who are we getting? Who can we get in return? But you made that great point about
you can't get much because remember he's got an expiring
exactly.
contract unless people really want that $18 million to come off their books. That's not as enticing as, let's say, Ben Simmons, who, whether you think he's terrible or not, he does have 40 million that's coming off the books this season. If I was Brooklyn, I would not give me 3 first rounders for Ben Simmons because you know what? We'll deal with Ben Simmons sucking all year long to get 40 million off our books, John. It's that's the thing with the Lakers. The Lakers with D'Lo, they might like the fact that $18 million is coming off the books. But again, for D'Lo, it's all about what he needs to be playing for this summer.
Yeah, D'Lo, he's got a contract here. That's not the only thing I'm hoping. I'm hoping to come from him is maybe a little bit more consistency. But like we were saying, guys, like just being real. I think we got to understand that Lakers that D'Lo's an inconsistent player, and that's just what he's going to bring to the table. And like how Gerald so greatly brought up, we're not getting. I don't think we're getting anything, and we're going to be able to get him off the table. And it's like I said, unless we get that guy who can be a point guard and preferably play some defense, but definitely at least be a point guard. I don't even think it's worth it.
In a Joe Sorrell-like quote today from Dan Inspiration, I love it. I know Jeannie is a woman, but she needs to grow a pair. Get rid of the Rambis family and Rob and actually hire someone with NBA pedigree like Bob Myers. Would love that. Or, again, as I said it, listen up, guys. Again, if it goes sour as far as the ownership in Minnesota, guess what? Who is Tim Connolly is the GM in Minnesota. Just pulled off that big cat trade, got Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle and a first rounder. He is a free agent at the end of the season as well. So Bob Myers is out there with his world championships. Tim Connolly, who helped build Denver into the championship team that they were. and also as well Minnesota into the team that almost made it into the finals last year. So if you're high on Tim Conley, he could be a free agent as well.
Tim Conley's the guy who put together. Yeah, he put together.
Denver's team.
Yeah. He. I'm pretty sure he said on the podcast like he knew how to beat Denver because he was the one that put together Denver, and then he went to go beat Denver with Minnesota. And I mean,
exactly.
Hey, you know what? Who else? You know who else knew it, Gerald? The freaking Lakers back in 2020 when we figured out the big lineups, the multiple big lineups you got to throw at Jokic. But for whatever reason, Jeannie and Rob were like, "Oh wait, we found out what works. Let's go in the complete opposite direction."
I don't know if anybody will trade for D'Lo for anything substantial. That's the problem. I mean, he's 18. He's $18 million coming off the books. He is in the final year of his contract. I mean, unless it's a team that really needs a point guard and the Lakers are struggling, maybe we could work out a deal. But you saw it last game in Atlanta last year. If everybody remembers last season in Atlanta when D'Lo was at the line and the Atlanta crowd was chanting, "We don't want him. We don't want him."
That's crazy.
Yeah, because and Trae Young, because the DeJounte Murray rumors were out there, and then Trae Young is out this year. So I don't know how if D'Lo. D'Lo better start playing at the level that he needs to in order to secure himself another contract. But even then, even if you get a career year from D'Lo, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get the Lakers where we want the Lakers to be, which is disappointing to see.
There's nothing that will happen, Joe. I'll be honest. Like I'll say that right now. There's literally nothing that will happen to get us where we want to be.
You sound as optimistic as Stone Hansen was last week when he was on the show. That's funny.
There's literally nothing, which is wild. But just got to be honest with yourself, right?
Well, being honest is what we do here. I know that a lot of people take us the wrong way sometimes, but we're not going to be dishonest with you. We're not going to sell you clickbait. We're not going to sell you as far as BS. We're going to try and hit you up with what's real. And here's the Lakers Fast Break. If Joe Soro was here, he'd be growling the same thing. But it's great to have you here. So many people in the chat right now. Truly appreciate you joining us. Once again, like and subscribe before you go. Really helps out the channel. But John has been tremendous on the show. Once again, a disappointing loss for the Lakers, but I was so grateful to meet Aussie, one of our viewers on Facebook. Guy's been tremendous on us for Facebook and also on Playback past few years. It was truly tremendous. No matter what hustling I did walking behind the MGM and walking down the strip just to get over there. But yeah, it's so funny because I'm like, oh yeah, Joe's not going to be on. Let me call John. John. Okay, it's Gerald. Yeah, I'm walking near the strip. Yeah. You gonna be on the show tonight? Thanks, man. Man, truly appreciate it.
Was it hecka hot outside or what?
95. Yeah, it's only middle of October, guys, and it's still 95 in the strip. But as Laker Nick said, the weather for Las Vegas should be getting better next weekend. Believe me, after months and months of 95, 105, 115 degree weather, we can certainly use it. But yeah, great points tonight by you guys in the chat. Just a tremendous chat tonight. Truly appreciate all the support and what you guys are doing. Guys, you're preaching to the choir. When you're talking about the problems of the Lakers, you guys are preaching to the choir here. Brian Green has a question for us. How much would you spend to re-sign D'Lo? That's a good question. I'm going to let you, as the president. Well, okay. Are you heading?
I was just going to go to the bathroom, but I will answer that first.
Answer this first. As the president of the D'Lo, before you go to the bathroom, president of the D'Lo fan club, if you were given the opportunity to re-sign D'Lo, and then I'll share my thoughts, what would you sign him to?
Yes. Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Brian, I think you stuck him. I think you got him stuck.
So my thing is a great question, Brian. My thing is this: what does our team look like? Like what does our team look like? As in the sense of like, what players do we have that could potentially maybe do what we need from him? But I'll be honest though, it's really got me. It's really got me stubbed. I ain't gonna lie. It's really got me. My biggest thing that I say is just like, do we have someone on his team who could replicate and do what he could do? Because if not, then we might need to dig into our pockets a little bit more. I'm gonna be honest with you. 2 year 35, even
That's interesting. I'll say the
that's
least. That's
interesting.
very generous of you, Brian.
That's yeah. I
Over
was
what
gonna
I
say
say.
it's kind of
So you
yeah.
head to the bathroom, and I'll tell them what's going on here, man. Let me take you off camera here real quick. All right. So I said it before last year. I said this last year would be a pivotal year for D'Lo because I thought we would determine whether or not he is actually a starting guard in the league. And remember, for a time, he was actually coming off the bench for the Lakers because he was struggling so mightily. I just think he doesn't give you much in the playoffs. He's a regular season point guard for me. He's not he's not a postseason guard for me, which is disappointing because again, on the defensive end, he is going to get burned, and he's getting older. He is when he signs his next contract, he'll be on the other side of 30. For a guy that needs speed, quickness, he doesn't have that already. He's more of a slick, getting through the seams type guy to find his shot, and then obviously counting on an accurate shot as well. I think ultimately where he is, he's got to be a guy that if he succeeds for the rest of his career, it's going to be coming off the bench as a six man. I think that's ultimately for a team, not the Lakers necessarily, but for a team, he's got to be coming off the bench. I think as your six man coming off the bench, and for that you would probably give him. You say 2 for 35. I would say I'd say 2 for 30. Personally, I'd maybe go that's the highest I think I would go, but ultimately I don't think he's going to end up being a starting guard in the league for very much longer unless he really blows up this year. Yeah, you gave Gabe at 11 million. That's good, but the only reason I say that, Tough Sue, is because the fact that the with the contract that they signed as far as the league did for the TV rights, prices are going up. So if you could sign it for 10, 11 million, I would say maybe 2 for 220, 2 for 22. Let's say that would be a fair deal, I think, for him. 2 for 30, okay, what have you. But again, I think his ultimate destination. If he wants to be part of a team that goes all the way, yes, I know he got to the Western Conference Finals, but you saw how badly he got smoked in the Western Conference Finals. He has some defensive liabilities he'll never get rid of in the playoffs. He's a regular season player. He's a better regular season player than he is a postseason player. So for that, I'd probably say 30 to 35 million dollars. Let's go with that. I mean, I'm not 30. Let's say 25, 30 in that range. This somewhere like you said, like Gabe Vincent money, a little bit higher than that. Whatever that would correlate to next summer, I'd probably say that would be a good. I tough Sue. I'd give you that one if you
So
get on that.
so I want to hop in real quick. I want to say something because you
Yeah.
know how in my answer I said depending on what our team looks like, exactly what you said. Like you said, he's a regular season point guard, and I absolutely agree. In this team, though, like in this team that we have, this Lakers team, we need that though. We need that because we don't have another point guard to initiate the offense besides LeBron James, and we cannot rely on LeBron James at 40 to do this. So that's why, like I say, it depends what the rest of our team looks like. Because I agree, he's not a playoff point guard. Because in the playoffs, I want LeBron being a playmaker. I want LeBron initiating the offense. But if we don't have that, for regular season, that's why I love D'Lo. But what did Robert say here?
Well, Robert, great question. Robert Wheeler's in the chat. Truly appreciate you joining us. Make sure everyone out there you like and subscribe. He says, Gerald and John, do you think the Lakers' chemistry will be underrated this season since they're running essentially the same team back? I would have agreed with you on that. I talked about chemistry a couple weeks ago. We actually touched on it on a direct episode about the team chemistry. I thought that was something that was underrated, John, for this team this season. And I'll have you comment on that sec. But the problem is with this new defense and offense with a new coach, whatever chemistry you have, um, kind of gets undermined a little bit because we're learning a new scheme, all of them. And in doing so, you're seeing mistakes. And hopefully they're getting the mistakes all out now, Robert. And everybody else out there in the chat. Hopefully they're getting all the mistakes out now in preseason, fine-tuning things so that they can work on it. But John, that chemistry also has to be about communication. Communication builds chemistry. And tonight I saw a team that did not communicate with each other, and which is surprising, even with the starting five, who you think should have the best chemistry because they've been playing for so long with each other now. They didn't have it tonight. I'm assuming that's because they're unfamiliar yet and just getting used to JJ Redick's defensive schemes. So I'm hoping the chemistry that they have will allow them to mesh together and we'll get a better product come the start of the season. I hope that answered your question, Robert. But what do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think what I'm saying. Like, I think they definitely have a little bit more chemistry. They're bringing back essentially the same roster, but I think a coach has to do with a lot of the chemistry. You're not gonna lie, a coach really can mesh players together, bring players together. A lot of the times, especially in modern NBA, coaches are really just how well can you bring people together. To be honest with you, yes, X's and O's are important. But real quick, Lightning Blitz said Malcolm Brogdon is the point guard the Lakers need. I made a video on my Lakers corner page last year talking about how Malcolm Brogdon is an amazing point guard for us. I
One thing,
absolutely agree.
Malcolm, he can't stay healthy. He's already injured.
I feel you, but
He's already injured. I would agree with you, but he's already injured.
Yeah.
So he's with the Wizards right now. He's already injured right now. I don't know how long he's out. I'm checking it now. It is a thumb injury. So he did have surgery done. Yeah, he had to have surgery. So it was a torn ligament. So he'll be out quite a few weeks. So that's the thing. He's always been, whatever progress he has made, John, it always gets sets back due to injury.
Come on, Malcolm. He's solid. I like Malcolm a lot.
Yeah, he's in Washington, but he's on the IR right now, as they would say in the NFL. He's on. He's been injured, and he has had surgery because he's got a torn thumb ligament, and that's again, same thing happened in Boston. Same thing happened in Milwaukee. Same thing happened with Portland. He gets injured. He gets injured. He gets injured, and it's a pattern. Once you see that he's a player that it's just tough to. Indiana, same thing, gets injured. He gets injured, and you just know that it's going to be with this throughout his whole career. He's just going to be known as a guy who cannot always be there for you when you need him the most. And that's the problem. He's a good, efficient player, steady hand, good assist to turnover ratio, plays solid defense. But even in Boston, they had to get rid of him in that trade to get Drew Holiday because they just needed someone that they could count more on being on the floor than Malcolm Brogdon, John.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that as far as injury. Your best ability is availability. I say it all the time. So if he can't be out there, not much you can provide for us. But for sure, the type of player he is, I think that would be amazing for us, man. It'd be amazing for us.
If he's on the court and stays
If he's on the court, yeah, no, if he's on the court, for sure. But yeah, like I said, your best ability is availability, man. Your best ability is availability. I'll tell you that much.
Because Gabe Vincent has, when he's been in there, he hasn't been very visible. You don't know sometimes when he's on the court because he's just doesn't do much. He doesn't do a whole lot. Doesn't do a whole lot wrong, John, but he's not doing a whole lot right. It's just again. Steve Waterstone says it's preseason action. We'll see the real Bronny during the season. JJ, the team set up and won't give away his game plan. Steve is the eternal optimist there. So I credit you for that, Steve. Especially the Bronny quote. I'm sorry. I love it when all these when the optimists, John, they come on and again, more power to you. God bless you. I wish I could see the way you guys see the Lakers, that that there is a pathway to success for Bronny James and the Lakers, but
they got the purple and gold glasses on, Gerald. They got the purple and gold glasses on, Gerald.
Laker Tom. But the Lakers I could give it to you, okay? Because again, we've seen this before where teams have looked like dog crap during preseason, and then they come out during the regular season. They just overnight they just turn it on. So again, wait and see on that. But Bronny James again from the get go, summer league he was terrible. Preseason he's been terrible. I just have not seen at any time, even when he scored his vaunted 13-point game at the Thomas and Mack Arena on summer league. That's his high. That was his high in summer league. Again, he just does not look like a player that would be making the league if his name wasn't Bronny James, John. It just at this point, if you had to tell me, he's like an undrafted player, and his name was John Costa, and he's out there and he's playing like there'd be people that say, why is he even on the team right now? He's absolutely
Absolutely.
terrible at this point.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I think this isn't. I think at this point, Gerald, I think this is something that we both know. This isn't even something that just like man, Bronny's just out there literally just for his dad, just to make some history, and it was fun to see the first couple times, but it does start to get it does start to wear on
Okay,
you a little bit.
he correction from Steve. He was just being cheeky optimistic. So there you go. He was just joking with us. No worries. Steve out in Australia. Okay. Another Australian fan. We've got so many fans in Australia. Xbox, Aussie, who was at the game tonight. Steve, Jeremy. Always great to have everyone here from the land down under. You guys are awesome. I was shouting in the middle of Whataburger tonight after when I left them. I shouted Aussie, 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 and they shouted back oi, oi, oi. It was just so funny. People are looking at us like, what's going on? It was just truly a great time meeting Aussie tonight. But yeah, again, Warbone says Bronny is overpaid. Uh, Warbone, from a player standpoint, yes. From a financial standpoint for the Lakers, hell no. Because look at what he's making on Sport Track. He gets $1.1 million in jersey sales, memorabilia, all that stuff. They're going to be making tens of millions of dollars on Bronny this season. Does it mean they should have him on the team? Oh, no. I agree with you guys. Bronny's terrible. Bronny shouldn't be in the league. I get it. But from a money standpoint, John, the accountants are going to be happy with Bronny this season.
They are definitely going to be happy, Gerald. They're definitely going to be happy. He's going to be bringing a lot of money to them.
All right, my friend. Well, again, it was Lakers losing 111 to 97. John, before we head on out, you got to go ahead and give the cheap plug for what's going on with Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, yes. Please, guys, check me out. I have two channels. I have Lakers Corner, which is clearly all about the Lakers, bringing you all type of Lakers news, debates, highlights, everything. Check me out on YouTube. Also, that is on Instagram at Lakers underscore corner. And I also have Clutch Talk. Clutch Talk is another YouTube channel of mine that is about the NBA as a whole, dropping 2 episodes per week, bringing you, some of the best infotainment all the way around the league. That is on Instagram at Clutch Talk Pod. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube for Clutch Talk. Appreciate you guys as always, man. Appreciate all the love. Best Lakers best Lakers community around here, man. Love it. Check me out, and yeah, I'm super excited for season start. For 7 days away.
Steve, we have a few OKC fans that come on from time to time. They're looking great. But I
Yes.
can't say too much because I get a lot of hate from the Lakers fans on the chat that I gush over Sam Presti's job that he's done. But my gosh, when you have such a crappy GM like Rob Pelinka, and that we have very few draft choices, we have no money to move right now because we're right against the second tax apron. And then you look what's happening in OKC. They have like 50,000 draft picks. They have they have what? All young players. What, Hardenstein? No, Caruso's the oldest at 30. Caruso's the
Yeah.
oldest player on the team at 30. All young players, all talent, and they're expected to win 60 plus games this season. Gee, which position is the more enviable position to be in right now, John? OKC or Los Angeles? So you tell me. I mean, ton of draft picks, ton of youth. Uh, my gosh, it's probably one of the best situations for an NBA team to be in right now that you can be. So yeah, I don't blame you a bit, Steve. I'm just glad to have you here. Again, the Lakers, team that I love, unfortunately lost tonight, 111-97. That John loves as well. Again, we'll have to stick with it. We're here with you almost every day, doing over 300 shows a year. It is the Lakers Fast Break. If you're new to our show, please like and subscribe. Greed Weston, bring in Bob Myers. Yes, absolutely. That's not a bad choice at all. You got those championships there. Again, to Darren, to Brian, Weston, Serge. Hey, Serge, again, we love you anytime you're here. Whether you're modding or not, whether you're just here to enjoy, we always have nothing but love for you, man. You're the best there is out there. We got nothing but love. Warbone, great to have you here. Steve, all the way from Australia. Xbox from Australia. Jeremy, when you're watching this, much love out to you, my friend. Juju, uh, does anyone know why Quincy didn't play? Juju, that's what we talked about earlier on the podcast. I think it was an error by JJ Redick for not him to play, and disappointing because the kid, that could really do a lot of damage to your confidence if you're a kid like that. Juju, I couldn't agree with you more why he didn't play. Nobody seemed to know why. Even in the post-game comments, they were kind of like, yeah. So didn't see much there. So unfortunately, he didn't get some burn tonight when he really needed to. But yes, once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. Everybody that's been watching tonight, big crowd. I cannot thank you enough for watching us. Joe Soros should be back in the saddle with me this week. John is always welcome to join us anytime he can. John, any last thoughts before we head on out?
No last thoughts, man. Just please, guys, like and support Lakers Fast Break. Like and support Clutch Talk, Lakers Corner. I will be back after the next Lakers game. I'll be here for every Lakers post game show, and during the season, I'll be doing my own live streams. But Gerald, you are the best as always, and round of applause for you, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Again, I'm still sweating. I sweated through this thing twice because I got to go to take a shower. So I stink up a storm here because I was out in the Las Vegas heat trying to run up and down, catch up with Aussie because I thought it was going to be late for our lunch, man. But yeah, meeting him, his family was great. He went to the game. I'm sorry it didn't work out the way he would want it to. But Aussie, if you're watching on Facebook, safe travels to you and your family. I was super meeting you, all three of you. Truly hope the rest of your time here in America is going to be a good one. Wait before you head back safely to Australia. Wishing everybody on the chat, like the new faces. Please like and subscribe. Wait till you get a hold of Joe Soro coming on the show because we'll have him on tomorrow night. He couldn't make it tonight on his normal night, so we'll have Joe back in the saddle tomorrow, being Joe Soro, of course. But we'll have John Costa back for the games. Don't forget our playback as well. I've been getting some VIPs out there, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Become a member today for just $2.99. You get a lot of cool stuff as well. So truly appreciate you joining us. Clutch Talk, Lakers Corner, and Lakers Fast Break, bringing it all to you. Post game for the Lakers. Didn't quite get it done today in Vegas. Roll the snake eyes. But we'll see what happens next time on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.